Thanks for watching ERi-TV, dear viewers. Welcome to our news broadcast. Let's take a quick look at the major headlines for this evening. 5 patients diagnosed positive for COVID-19. Tests carried out today. Commendable social service provisions in Glasgow for a subzone. COP26 Climate Summit opens in Glasgow as last best hope for meeting 1.5 degrees Celsius target. And Thailand reopens to vaccinated tourists from over 60 nations. Announcement from the Ministry of Health. 5 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today at quarantine centers and testing stations in southern and central regions. Out of these, 4 patients are from quarantine centers in Adwala, Duarwa, and Adghaya, southern region. The last patient is from a testing center in Asmara, central region. Accordingly, the total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has increased to 6,839. The total number of recovered patients stands at 6,732, while the number of deaths at 45. Ministry of Health, Asmara, 1 November 2021. Social service provision institutions put in place in Robrobia administrative area for a subzone is contributing in the regrouping of villages in the area. Speaking to Arena, Mr. Mohammed Umar, administrator of Robrobia administrative area, stated that there is 1 health station, several schools ranging from preschool to junior level, as well as solar-powered water supply projects in the administrative area that have enabled residents to regroup themselves for better access to social services. Indicating all that the construction of dirt road connecting Foro to Robrobia, as well as Adghaya Foro route that crosses from the administrative area, allotment of land for business have improved the socio-economic activities of the residents. Mr. Mohammed called for the introduction of mobile telephone services in the area. The residents on their part stated that since their regrouping, they have started cultivating vegetables and fruits, and their living standards are improving. They further called for reinforced awareness-raising campaigns aimed at encouraging other villages to be regrouped. Robrobia administrative area is home to about 4,000 nationals. Effective environmental sanitation activities are being conducted in the port city of Massawa. Mr. Yabio Gabra Mikhail, head of sanitation unit, stated. Mr. Yabio said that alongside forestation activities, the municipality of Massawa is engaged in ensuring environmental sanitation and has put in place 4 modern public latrines that are conducive even to disabled people. The latrines are playing a significant role in ensuring environmental sanitation, Mr. Yabio added. The head of forestation activities, Mr. Solomon Araya, on his part, indicated that extensive forestation activities are being exerted in the city and said that trees are being planted around the latrines. Residents on their part highlighted the significance of the modern public latrines in ensuring environmental sanitation and called for the construction of more latrines, taking into consideration the number of residents of the port city of Massawa. That was our domestic news. Please stay tuned for the international right after a short break. The UN Climate Summit in Glasgow opened Sunday with appeals for action and prayers, kicking off 2 weeks of intense diplomatic negotiations by almost 200 countries and how to tackle the common challenge of intensifying global warming. Leaders from around the world are gathering in Scotland's biggest city to lay out their country's efforts to curb greenhouse gas emissions and deal with the effects of climate change. At the Vatican Sunday, Pope Francis appealed to the world's people to pray that world leaders realize the suffering of the earth and the poor as the climate warms. Negotiations will push nations to ratchet up their efforts to keep global temperatures from rising by more than 1.5 degrees Celsius this century, compared with pre-industrial times. Tens of thousands of travelers are expected to arrive in Thailand today as the country reopens to tourists after 18 months of COVID restrictions. Vaccinated tourists from more than 60 low-risk nations are allowed to enter the country and avoid hotel quarantine. Tourist numbers are forecast to jump to as much as 15 million next year, bringing in more than $30 billion. However, much of the country still face restrictions, with only around 42% of the population fully vaccinated. The coronavirus pandemic hammered Thailand's economy, which would previously attract 40 million tourists a year. Last year, tourist arrivals were down more than 80%. Airports serving Bangkok and Phuket are among those opening the countries, including UK, China, Japan, the US, and most of Europe. Let's look at the headlines as a recap for tonight's news. 5 patients diagnosed positive for COVID-19. Commendable social service provisions in Robrobia for subsidy. COP26 Climate Summit opens in Glasgow as last best hope for meeting 1.5 degrees Celsius target. And Thailand reopens to vaccinated tourists from over 60 nations. And that was our news for tonight, dear viewers. It is good night from us.